Hello everyone and welcome to A Slice of My Life. This is one of my old style vlogs, I guess. Like I'm just here talking. Anyway, this video is inspired by Adrian D'Souza, and you guys know that he's a friend of mine who runs Damn Designs. And Adrian today wrote a post on the Damn Designs Facebook page talking about not being able to hit the minimum order before he could start the run for production of the Invictus spinners. And then that inspired Andrew Klutz of Legacy Spinners to chime in, and Andrew also wrote he penned down his thoughts on what Adrian mentioned. So he just chimed in on it and he spoke about Legacy Spinners not doing very well. Like the company has been down 75% since the last pre-order, and I was inspired by that post to talk about what I think is the decline of fidget spinners nowadays. I'll just start by saying that I had the luck, maybe not the luck, but I was lucky that I started quite early on in the game, so I've seen quite a lot happen throughout this 1 year period. Actually, it's been less than a year for me, to be honest. I got into spinners in October, November of 2016, and now it's September, so that makes it about 11 months. And when I got into spinners, at the point of time, the torque bar was already something, the stubby was already a thing, and I didn't know about that. I just got interested because I saw my buddy Yong Chiang playing with the spinner. And from there, things just, really snowballed, I suppose. I can't really say it snowballed, it just really caught my attention. Everything caught my attention. And if you're wondering where I am, I'm in the middle of a car park. But this is my estate where I live, so I'm just gonna stand here and talk because it seems rather quiet here, away from the main road. Yeah, so basically I went on a journey, and I thought to myself, when things just started out, I wanted to see how far this spinner thing could go. I started by trying out like a zip tie spinner, a DIY thing. Then I moved on to 3D printed spinners, and I was getting more and more interested, and I told myself I wanted to try the difference between a 3D printed spinner, which was basically a bearing wrap, where people would use bearings as weights. And I moved on from there to an actual premium, at the point of time was rather premium spinner, which is the Troika Minim. I basically watched the whole market just explode. The rise and the hype of spinners just went soaring, and every other person knew what a fidget spinner was. And I also speculated that about July, August of this year, which is just a couple of months ago, that the spinner craze would die out. Literally saw my videos going from 100 views all the way to about 300,000 views, and that basically helped me to build my channel. And if you guys realize, I've never once asked for subscriptions. I didn't ever ask anyone to subscribe to my channel if you're interested in finding out more, learning more, staying tuned. I never once did that because this really is a hobby for me, and I've made it a point to always stay true to that, to not do anything more than be a neutral party and to review spinners that are interesting to me. Well, truth be told, I've been approached by quite a lot of people, quite a lot of makers, a lot of designers. Yeah, and that's really the sound of the train. So imagine I live in this block right here, and this train track is right next to my window. So imagine the sound that I have to face every single day, every few minutes. It's bad, So anyway, I digress. So I've basically seen the whole rise and the whole fall of it, where spinners went mainstream, and then when something gets really popular and people don't really understand it, they start making fun of it. There's this whole period of time when people would start commenting on my videos, whether it be on Instagram or on YouTube, and they would just leave a autistic comment, like literally just the word autistic or autism, and I've even seen one of my videos, which is the RGB one, the Super Eagle Eye RGB mod. I've seen that become a meme as well. So I guess fidget spinners really were a thing, but now that it's died down and it's no longer mainstream, you only have the people who are really just the enthusiasts or the collectors, and people who appreciate kinetic art, if you call it kinetic art. During the rise of it all, it was easier for a designer to reach out to a manufacturer and mass produce a certain design and sell it for cheap, because the higher quantity you produce, the cheaper each cost would be, and you could keep prices low. And that's exactly what Spinnetic spinners did for the entire spinner world. And in my opinion, they were the ones, Joshua, big ups to you, Spinnetic were the ones to actually push the idea and the fact that high quality spinners could be made affordable to everyone. And then from there, basically it paved the way for a lot of budding designers to come up with their own designs, to find and reach out to manufacturers all across the world, because the internet basically makes the world a smaller place. But now, because of the decline and because of the drop in demand, people are producing less and less. But the thing is, because of all this experience, because of all the spinner designs out there, people are learning. Designers are getting better at putting out even more beautiful designs, and they also have the means to reach out to the manufacturers. But the demand is now no longer what it used to be, that I guess you're not able to produce as many as before, and you definitely aren't able to sell as much as before. So that will eventually bring the cost up back again. The less you make, the more it costs per piece, and you're gonna have to sell it in order to cover back, or basically to make some profit. And I mean, come on, let's all be real about this. Anyone who's into designing spinners and putting it out there for the market is in it for the profit. Let's just be honest about that. This is a business thing after all. It's a business transaction, right? You don't talk about basic things like designing a spinner anymore. You talk about designing things, you talk about the packaging of it, you talk about what bearings to use, what kind of buttons to use, you talk about delivery method, you talk about investing in making videos, making review pieces, reaching out to the reviewers. There's so much that goes into it, so much more than what it used to be before. I guess what I'm trying to say is, talking about what Adrian and what Andrew wrote, it's a bit sad, of course. Definitely, it's not easy anymore to stay afloat in this. But people like, for example, Raja at Fidget HQ, he's moved into a different niche where he's trying to make exotic metal spinners more affordable. You know what I mean? So I guess that's his goal, that's his direction right now. So I guess every maker, every merchant, every manufacturer, I guess it's really up to you now. It's really on your onus to look for your own direction, your own path, to find your own way out of this if you want to stay in the spinner game. Like for me, myself as an enthusiast, yes, I'm lucky because I get spinners to review, but that's what I do. I pride myself in giving people very honest reviews. I pride myself in telling makers and manufacturers and designers feedback on what I think of their spinners and how to improve. And I don't hold my tongue. If I don't like a spinner, I don't hold my tongue. If I don't like customer service, if I don't like something. And that's what I guess you guys, my viewers, appreciate. And that's what the returning manufacturers appreciate as well, as they keep sending me stuff to review. Now, with that said, it doesn't mean that I have to buy their products when they release it. For example, let's take Damn Design, since we're talking about Damn Designs right now. Adrian first reached out to me. The very first products he sent to me were the triads. Now, before he actually manufactured the triads, we were already talking to each other on Facebook. I was already giving him input based on his design, and the triad was the first product that he released. He sent me a brass one and a stainless steel one. And the brass one I put up for giveaway because I was helping to spread the word about it. The stainless steel one I kept. But that was basically a review piece. And after that, I hopped on the second triad pre-order. Yes, partly because my girlfriend has the first triad, but because I think that the triad is an awesome product, and I'm on the pre-order for the titanium version. And then he also sent me the Invictus, and the Invictus that he sent to me is a review piece. It is a sample, but I'm also on the pre-order for a retail version of the Invictus. Did I buy the Hex spinner? No, I did not buy the Hex spinner because it doesn't really appeal to me. I know that you guys have seen my first impressions of it. The Turbulence, I did not, because I was skeptical about it, but it changed my mind when I received it. So I did not jump on that pre-order because now it's closed. But did I order the Voodoo ring? No, I did not, because I don't like it. It just doesn't appeal to me, So really, at the end of the day, I am still another customer. I am just another one of those enthusiasts where now with my hard-earned money, I get to pick and choose which spinner design that I want. And the fact is, there are so many new spinner designs being released almost on a weekly basis. And this message goes out to Adrian basically. I think that the problem is that you yourself are releasing new designs to the public at too short of an interval, where right now people are spoiled for choice. And I know that you were actually asking for interest, and you said that this is a committed interest check. Those of you who are interested in getting something, please put an X1 below in the post. If you're not interested in getting it, don't do that. But you never gave them time to save up money, because you just released the Invictus, you released the Voodoo, you released the Hex, you released the Turbulence, you released a new run of the Triads, all within the span of a month. And I don't think people can afford that. amongst a sea of other spinners that are being released. For example, we have the Quasars by Fidget HQ. We also have the V2 Origins that are on pre-order. We also have the DNA line by Spinnetics. You know, there's so many things that are going on right now. So I think that maybe you could have gave a little bit more time in between, like maybe one release a month, where people will actually be able to process it first and decide, okay, well, I want this month and I want that the next month, something like that. You know, it's very difficult to find the right balance, whether or not you want to run pre-orders, whether you want to put down that stack of cash and say, okay, just manufacture all of these. It's really quite difficult for startups, you know, because where capital is a huge issue, and I totally understand. The thing is, I think that right now, for all the consumers, for all the enthusiasts, I think we, even myself, we have to mentally prepare ourselves that spinner prices will go up, because right now the mainstream spinner craze is dead. It is dead, and we should not expect that spinner prices will stay low, because they're not being manufactured at that kind of quantity that was maybe 3, 4, 5 months ago. So the message to all the enthusiasts, the message to all the consumers is, in my opinion, spinner prices are going to go up. There will be a decline in the number of designs that are going to be put out, but I think that those that will be released will be of good quality. And to the makers out there, if you're really going to stick it out through this whole spinner game, then do your best, don't give up. And I guess really now you have to really study the market, and you have to study what the consumer wants, you know, and you have to really appeal to a certain crowd. Like, for example, I myself, throughout this journey, I've realized that I don't care where a spinner is made. I don't care what kind of bearing retention system. Some people do. I care about stainless steel. I care about very angular designs, and I care about value for money. That's my personal opinion. You know, there are people out there who just care about spin times. There are people out there who care about exotic metals and exclusivity. You know, people who want really, really rare pieces. So each manufacturer, each maker, you're going to have to find your niche and then supply for that demand in your niche. It's not going to be easy, but if you really want to stay in this game, that's what you have to do. Because there are people who have started to liquidate all their non-moving stocks, and that's kind of sad to see. But at the same time, it also means that those were the designs that didn't make it. Those were the designs that are bad, that just didn't stand the test of time and aren't worth that money, you know? So I guess I just wanted to talk about it, not giving a definitive answer, because I cannot. I don't represent the market. I don't represent the makers. I don't represent all of the consumers. I represent myself. And I just really wanted to chime in because I thought it was like a good time to talk about it, and I really want to hear your thoughts on it. So I really hope to start some interesting discussions, and maybe the makers, whoever you are, the manufacturers, the makers, the merchants, I hope that you guys watch this video as well, and I hope that you read what the consumers and the enthusiasts have to say, because these are the people who are staying in this community, who are really interested and are down to put hard-earned money for a good product. We are now the collectors. We are now the true enthusiasts who have stood strong throughout this whole time and are still here to stay. Like for myself, I don't see myself declining in terms of spinner purchases. I don't see myself declining in terms of making review videos. They might slow down if there are not going to be a lot of new designs coming up. They might slow down if the new designs don't pique my interest. But it is something that I really am truly enthusiastic about. Like, look, I have the Invictus spinner right here in a cranky pouch by Premium Spinners. I have the Trimetrics inside this Spinnetics pouch, and I only have one hand, so I can't really show it to you guys. And in this little pouch over here, I actually have the Noble Spin Savant, and I have the Arkwright. So yes, and in my bag right there with my key fob, I also have the Hyperstone. So I do have spinners with me all the time, but let's just start some interesting discussions down below, and I really love to hear what you guys have to say. Alright, I guess this is the end of this video. To all the makers and all the designers, all the manufacturers out there, good luck, all the best. I really am interested and excited to find out what you guys have in store for the future, and I'm still looking forward to seeing how this whole market will go. Thanks for watching, everyone. It's time for me to head back because it's like 9 at night and I haven't had my dinner and I'm hungry. Oh, I forgot to say, I'll catch you guys in the next slice of my life. Bye.